Hello everyone and welcome back to the GH24 News channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the deception office, Brooke Lynn calls Chase and leaves a communication saying she should have her test results soon and aloud. They could go to New York City for a comforting weekend and some baby-making time. After she gets off the phone, Lulu shows up. Lulu is there to meet Maxie, but Brooke Lynn says she's in a meeting and also they're reserved up with interviews. Lulu explains that's why she's there, as she wants an interview. Brooke Lynn can't believe she wants to work then. Brooke Lynn says this is an assistant job, and she allowed. Her last job was writing for a paper. They soon begin fighting about their history, and Brooke Lynn doesn't know why Lulu can't move on, given she and Dante have. Maxie interrupts and says it's clear they're getting along as well as ever. Brooke Lynn gets a textbook and says she needs to go home to her hubby and tells Maxie that she leaves the interviews in her hands. Maxie tells Lulu that she's overqualified to be an adjunct, but Lulu needs to make plutocrat. Maxie tells her that the job is to be Brooke Lynn's adjunct, and she doesn't see it going well because they detest each other. Lulu asks exactly when and why she and Brooke Lynn came besties. Maxie says she'll have to tell her what happened with Peter. August over a big bottle of wine, but just know that Brooke Lynn is a good person and has been a good friend to her. Lulu has issues with her, saying Brooke Lynn likes to play she's from Bensonhurst, but she's always had the Quartermain plutocrat. Maxie thinks commodity differently is really going on, and Lulu admits it's Charlotte. Lulu explains she needs plutocrat to go looking for Charlotte, and she needs plutocrat for a place for her, Charlotte and Rocco when she finds her son. She feels the world has moved forward without her, but she's falling before. Maxie tells her she's taking the right way, so Lulu asks if she has the job. Maxie asks if she can put the history behind her and work with Brooke Lynn. At the Quartermain manse, Chase tells Tracy that she can't keep those kiddies from Willow. Tracy has had this discussion enough times moment and needs a break and tells him to butt out. Chase begs her not to make this more delicate, but Tracy feels it's simple, and those children are going nowhere. Chase says everyone is saying she's acting out of malignancy, but he doesn't believe that and knows family means everything to her. Still, she's not guarding those kiddies, and she's causing further detriment. Chase knows she's doing this because those kiddies are Quartermain's, but they're also Willow's kiddies and need her mama. Tracy says he's predisposed to favor Willow, he thinks she's an angel, but Drew and Willow's jest has been reprehensible. She smothers over the print of Drew, Willow, and Wiley at his induction. Chase says this is about two kiddies who need their mama. Tracy yells that Willow doesn't put them first, but she does. Chase tells her that she could face felonious charges if she doesn't give those kiddies to Willow, but Tracy isn't hysterical of a fight. Suddenly, Brooke Lynn appears and asks why Tracy is fighting with her hubby. Tracy explains they're having a disagreement over who the children should be with, noting those children are the only thing that puts a smile on Monica's face. Brooke Lynn says if Monica knew what was going on, she'd agree the children should be with their mama since they can't be with Michael. At Ava's gallery, Lucas and Ava watch a videotape Lucas recorded of Avery's cotillion recital. She thanks him for coming and showing him. Ava asks about the fire at Sunny's and if they know what caused it. Lucas says they do'n't, and he gets where she's going but notes Avery is fully safe at Carly's. Ava knows she's and asks Lucas to give her a clinch and tell her that her mama loves her. Lucas will, and heads to work. Ava calls Rick over, and he arrives and asks what's so important. She says Avery's life is in peril, and she should be with her. Rick aloud. She was at Carly's. Ava says the fire at Sunny's was no accident, and Rick says of course it wasn't. Still, given Avery has been at Carly's, where she's lived up most of her life, the court probably wouldn't see a reason to change the guardianship arrangement. He says she needs to stay for the right moment to make a move. Ava notes, so says the absentee father. He tells her not to make this particular. Ava apologizes, but doesn't know how he could stay down from Molly. Rick has his regrets, but she needs to be patient, and this is going to be a long, precious battle. He brings up the fact that she still hasn't paid him. Rick tells Ava that Sunny has won numerous guardianship battles, so she needs to stay for the right moment to come on to strike. Suddenly, Jens appears, introduces himself, and says he'd like to buy oils to embellish his new home. Ava asks to know a little bit about himself and his house so she can help steer him in the right direction. He says he's an importer and just bought Ladle Island. Ava is stupefied and says she used to live there. Jens asks why she moved out of such a beautiful islet. She explains it was her hubby's and they resolve. He feels his wandering into her gallery was fortune, and he trusts her in choosing a oil to make this house his own. She shows him a oil by a Greek artist from Crete and offers to show him further of his work. She leads Jens around the gallery. Ultimately, Jens purchases a oil and invites her over to help him pick the perfect spot for it, and they can talk about unborn purchases. She tells him that it would be her pleasure. He hopes to see her soon and kisses her hand. He departs, and Rick says watching her work was informational, and also abductions Jen's check from her hands as her first payment for what she owes him. At the Port Charles Grill, Cody drowns his sorrows in booze and runs into Drew on his way out. As they dispute, Jordan intervenes before they come to fisticuffs. Cody says he has no problem with Drew, but Drew seems to have one with him. Jordan tells them neither needs to get into a fight in a public place. Cody tells Drew to have a terrible day and walks off. Drew thanks Jordan for having his reverse, but she says he sounded to be the bone. Who started effects? Drew says he doesn't trust Cody, but Jordan points out that nothing in this city presently trusts him. He suppositions she spoke to Curtis, who he did offer a creation to. Jordan says he misled Curtis and betrayed a man who was a good friend to him. Jordan tells him he needs to stop digging himself a larger hole and start mending walls, or he's going to end up each alone. Jordan departs and Martin approaches Drew. He jokes it's safe to say his blessing standing among his ingredients has gone down. Drew wouldn't bandy his particular life with him. Martin offers him advice from someone who has gone through 3 divorces. The heart wants what it wants, so he needs to stay true to himself and what he wants. Drew thanks him and asks Martin to help him get Willow's children down from the Quartermains and back with their mama. He says Tracy has no legal rights to those kiddies. Martin knows that, but Tracy knows the system, and she has deep pockets. Drew says he'll do anything to reunite Willow with her children. Latterly, Martin and Drew arrive at the Quartermain manse with several officers. Martin tells Tracy they've a court order, and she must hand over Willow's children. Giddy, Tracy explains she can't, as she doesn't know where they are. Drew orders the officers to arrest her. When Tracy resists, that's added to her record. Tracy tells Drew he'll lament this as she's placed in bind. Cody stops by the sanitarium with a check for Brad to give his aunt, saying it's utmost of the plutocrat he owes her. Brad can't believe he placed a bet for him and he can't pay up. Lucas intelligencers on them from hence. Cody hands him a check and is $5,000 short. Cody says he's good for it, but Brad says to take it up with his aunt. Cody walks off, and Lucas approaches Brad about what's going on. Brad tells him everything that happened, but Lucas says he doesn't owe him an explanation. Brad knows that, but Lucas tutored him that telling the verity is important, and he wanted him to know. Lucas smiles, says he appreciates it, and walks off. Sunny arrives outdoors Michael's room to meet with Carly and Willow. Willow knows they're both worried with her, but she wants to find a way forward that works for all of them. Carly asks if that means she'll let them see their son. Carly admits she took the kiddies, but for Michael, and she no way anticipated Tracy to hold on to them. She and Sunny both say they've tried to get the kiddies from Tracy, and they're upset sick about them. Carly says Tracy California and hold on to them fairly, and they will get them back. Willow hopes so, but says she's realized she can only trust her own judgment on what to do, and that includes what's stylish for Michael. She knows Michael needs them, and she wouldn't stand in their way of seeing him. Sunny thanks her, and Willow actually doesn't know how effects got to this point. She says she still loves Michael, he gave her a family, and she wants him to get better and be with their kiddies. Portia arrives to bandy the coming way for Michael's recovery. Willow tells Portia they can talk in front of Sunny and Carly and they will each make a decision together. Portia says a bed has opened up at Johns Hopkins, which is the stylish burn treatment sanitarium in the country and is fairly close, so they can visit. Carly explains she may have a better option. Carly fills them in about the clinic in Russia, which closed, but that one of the Krokers has dislocated to Germany, and Jack Brennan has secured Michael a space there. Sunny takes Carly off to talk intimately and doesn't know how he feels about transferring Michael so far down. She says he saw the results himself with Ava, and this is stylish option for Michael. Sunny doesn't know if they should trust the WSB. Carly says she'll be there daily with Michael, so trust her.